Go to the phones again. One more question on the issue of race. Washington Post columnist Colbert King wrote a few weekends ago that Mayor Fenty alienated the city's educated black community from the start, or the city's black community in general, by assembling a cabinet with little sensitivity to race. And one of the reasons I'm raising this question is because I love Phil Pennell's quote. I got to use it again. Colby quoted Ward 8 activist Phil Pennell, who said that Adrian Fenty made Anthony Williams look like Shaka Zulu.
And now, can I add to your question before you answer this? This will add heft to this. Here's a list of white directors and agencies: police chief, fire chief, consumer and regulatory affairs, transportation, attorney general, public health director, schools chancellor, at least non-African American, DC Water, environmental services, employment services. Essentially all white people.
How will race factor into the decisions you make in forming your cabinet? What is your sensitivity to the issue?
I want a cabinet that looks like the city, and that will be the template that I will try to use. And you know, we've had conversations before about the fact that when you look at the public education cluster, which is another way of looking at the data you just cited, Tom, when you look at the public safety cluster, when you look at the education cluster, I think that raised a lot of concerns with people because there's not one African American top leader in either of those clusters, which are arguably two of the most important in the District of Columbia.
Jan in Washington, D.C. Jan, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for taking my call. I just have been listening to the show, and earlier someone mentioned that Fenty's appointment of a lot of people that didn't look like the city to his cabinet was something that alienated the black educated populace of D.C. And I just have to take issue with that, and I think it's almost a little insulting. As being one of the black educated voters in D.C., I think most of us want the best people in those positions. And I've been a native Washingtonian my entire life, and I have seen cabinets that look like the city that have been disasters. So I think it's kind of almost pandering to say, no, we're going to make it look like the city. I could care less if it looks like the city. I want it to be good. I want it to be effective. And I think I got a black president. I'm good. So I just wanted to offer that to Gray, that moving forward, if he wants to do what's best for the city, do not sort of give way to, oh, we need black people in all top positions. Get the best people, look at the results, and that's all that most of us in the city really care about in the end. And I'll take my comment off the air.
And then go down in the next election. But anyway, here's Vincent Gray himself to respond.
Well, I think in saying that the cabinet would look like the city recognizes that we have a racially and ethnically diverse city. And that would include African Americans, it would include Latinos, it would include Asian Americans, it would include whites. And I think that's what people are saying at this stage, and that is, when you look at this cabinet, aren't there qualified people from other racial and ethnic groups that would be able to fill these positions?
The talent pool is much larger than the top dozen people who are all white or not African American. The talent pool is much larger.
Absolutely.
I'm afraid we're just about out of time, except for this.